You're already back. Welcome back to my channel. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who engaged with that previous video, my first YouTube video that I ever made. Thank you so much. Um, in theme, with what I believe, and very much in theme with the first video of me just sitting down and doing it rather than overthinking it, I am still in my work clothes. I just finished my workout. I am sweaty. I'm gross. I'm back at it with the exceptional backgrounds. As you can tell, we are set and primed for cinematic masterpiece when it comes to creating YouTube videos. But yeah, what can I say? I can say a lot of things. That's a fact. Probably one of my biggest strong suits is that I can say a lot about absolutely nothing, but also about things as well. And I guess the main point of this video, not only to express gratitude, I am primed again, did my workout. I listened to like 4 podcasts today. We're ready. I've been incubating. Okay, I made like 5 different TikToks, posted them all. Very proud of myself. Today I was like, I'm just gonna go for it and post like 6 TikToks today instead of just one. I like just brushing up against those things. I'm trying not to overbreathe or breathe very heavy. I'm sorry about that. There's young Sheldon on in the background, so if you hear other noises as well, understand this is not going to be an ideal setting to make a video, although arguably it is an ideal setting because I'm doing it and we just make it happen. And when we make it happen, that's how it happens. Wow, that's a play on words there. You must be very impressed. A little more chaotic than last video. I am aware of that. When my blood is pumping this way, I'm a little riled up, but in the best sense. I filmed a podcast yesterday, which I spoke about just the things that I really want to be prioritizing in 2026. Number 1 being God, my relationship with God. Number 2, movement, walking, exercise, working hard, chasing after goals without making it the whole point of the year. Really trying to enjoy life till its fullest. You can walk by. I'm not going to edit it out. Yeah, just prioritizing the things that I want my life to be more of and more about. Drawing, moving, reading fantasy. My sister got me this book by J.R.R. Tolkien, Unfinished Tales. I read The Silmarillion, I read The Hobbit. Reading fantasy I feel like is very crucial when you're trying to develop a more interesting... You're going to see people walking by. That's completely fine. When you're trying to develop a more profound imagination, if you're trying to cultivate your childlike wonder, fantasy novels are it. I love nonfiction as well. I love self-help books. I love historical period dramas. My mother raised me on Jane Austen. I read this book also a while back, but it's so good because it's so small, right? You can get through it really quickly. As a Man Thinketh. And that's kind of what I want to talk about right now, which is just your thoughts, right? You are the pinnacle, right? I'm not trying to try to give you a mindset that suggests that you are the center of the universe. You're not. You're the center of your universe, technically, right? Now you can change those things. God can be the center of your universe. I know I'm trying to put him there for myself. But the reality is it all starts and ends with you. If you want to change something in your life, you have to do it. If you want to partake in something in your life, you have to do it. If you want to get stronger, if you want to build muscle, if you want to get leaner, whatever it is, right? I'm doing a lot of fitness things. I just did a workout again. This is what's circulating my subconscious. But the reality is this. You start and end it, okay? If you want to create YouTube videos, you get to do that. I want to create YouTube videos. I want to be a YouTuber. So here I am putting in the work, right? And I hope 5 years from now, I get to look back on these videos and be like, wow, I'm so happy that I took that actionable step and I did it. Even though it was a little difficult, even though I did not know what I'm doing. I currently do not know what I'm doing. But guess what? That's fun. That's the nature of it, right? The excitement. And when you reprogram your brain to view things you've never done through the lens of excitement and wonder and what could potentially come out of this, rather than thinking constantly of, oh, but I can't do it because I don't want to be embarrassed, and I can't do it because I don't want to, have people look at me or people give me advice or X, Y, and Z. What? That's it? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting riled up. Let me calm down. I'm not going to let the opinions of others, of people who aren't even thinking about me, right, dictate my actions and what I decide to spend my time on. I love making content. I love it so much, okay? I love doing this right here. There's a sense of fulfillment. There's a sense of purpose. There's a sense of community and joy, excitement when I create content. And content about anything. I draw, I create. I'm very creative that way, right? Sounds so pick me. I'm very creative. But I am, and a lot of people are, right? We're trying to step out of consumption and consumerism and try to step into creating and joy and, again, childlike wonder. I know I'm going to say a lot of catchphrases over and over and over again. Just be prepared to have that beat into your subconscious. It's okay, though. Please stick with me. Yeah, it's just, I love making content. And there was a time I didn't make content because I was trying to adhere to this nonchalant, what's the word I'm looking for? Stoic version of me that was just not bothered. And guess what? You end up not experiencing all that life can give you in the form of excitement, in the form of, through embarrassment, the underexplored emotion, which I spoke about in last episode. Well, technically it was an episode, but last video. But man, I'm so excited. I just want to talk about a couple things that I plan on doing. Obviously, I plan on filming and kind of talking about my process regarding my art, how I make my digital paintings, the process that I take between, designing, well, first of all, selecting references, selecting something I'm interested in, where I derive inspiration, and then actually taking those references and creating a piece. And then once the piece is made, how to go from there to actually having it framed on your wall. In and out. I really want to do something where you walk through the steps, except I don't know how to do that because I've never made a YouTube video or a long form piece of content that looked like that, where you have to edit and you have to think ahead and you have to have things prepared. I love the sit down and just do, right? When I was younger, whenever I was thinking about making content, it was always like, but what am I going to post about? Right now, that's not the problem. It's not about what I post. I post absolutely everything. I document almost everything in my life. Could I refine that a little bit? Absolutely. I want to get like a GoPro so I can actually start recording when I go out and like go hiking and go rock hopping and go to the river and all these things, because I love nature. Nature is something that's so important to me in my life. But yeah, I think it's really important to just go for the thing and to practice. Nobody wears shirts in this house. To practice just going for the thing, even though it's kind of scary. I have my family is walking through my room, right? It is not aesthetic in here, okay? By far. Let me try to up the lighting a little bit more again. Again, it's like, this isn't the ideal situation, but I'm doing it, right? I want to thank everyone who left a comment on my first video. Thank you so much. That moved me. That really made me feel really good. The same thing happened with my first podcast. I was absolutely moved to a place of humility and just gratitude, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for that. That's the first thing. This sense of community I get behind posting on any type of platform is unreal, and it's so helpful because as human beings, we are tribe oriented. We need the comfort of others, right? Not that we should try to find the validation, the comfort for others, but ultimately that's going to be a core need for us because that's just our biology, right? And I was sick the last couple days, sitting in my dark room, not moving, no sunlight exposure, just nothing, right? Scrolling endlessly and not getting enough sleep, and wow, I felt awful, and I thought a depressive wave was coming on, right? But thankfully, when I started feeling better, literally yesterday and the day before that, I got outside, I went to the beach, I moved my body, I read a little bit, I did a small workout. I didn't want to push myself. I know I was still tired. I didn't want to overexert myself. I drew, I made content, I called a friend, I did what I had to do because I know what I have to do to get out of that, right? And then I practiced some really positive affirmations. And what does that positive affirmations mean? By the way, when I say affirmations, I'm not alluding to new age thinking. If you are into that, that's 100% your thing. Personally, not mine. But I do believe the power of the tongue is in the tongue, right? And what we say, what we believe, what we ultimately consume is going to dictate. You reap what you sow, right? I'm saying a lot of scriptural context here, but the reality is that's completely applicable to your real life, right? Even if you're not a practicing believer. You don't have to be, by the way, to watch this video. I'm accepting of all. But the point is, this is my purpose, right? What is my purpose? Just doing this, right? I've already found success. That was something that used to, like when I was 16 years old and I decided one day that I want to be a millionaire, and I bought all these books, right? And I was trying to figure out how to do self-improvement, right? And how to make myself the best version of me, right? It's crazy how I still have similar goals, right? But with completely different focus and different goals. Before it was do everything because I wanted to be rich and I wanted influence and I wanted fame, and now it's completely the opposite. I'm so happy with how I am right now, and all I want to do is share that feeling and meet others that have the same feeling and just inspire different individuals to just realize that mediocre life, this life that you walk around every single day, that's where life actually exists. It's not in waiting for the moments where you feel the highest. It's not that at all. It's finding the comfort and the joys in the little things every single day to day, consistently, and showing up for yourself so that you can be the best version of you right now, not tomorrow, right? Understand that everything is either growing, you're just going in a direction. You're not finding the destination. It's just, it sounds so cliche, but the reason why it sounds cliche is because it is so true. That is not the destination, it is the journey. And every decision you take, every action you take, right, solidifies that version of you that you want to be, right? When you create evidence to back that you are who you say you are, you create confidence. And that confidence allows you to take advantage of all the opportunities that are circulating you constantly, right? The opportunity of me becoming a YouTuber, just sitting down and making these videos because I enjoy them, is circulating my existence, but it takes me just doing it, you know? I'm not here to glorify myself, to act like I've done a big thing, although today actually I made a TikTok video talking about that when you do something great, you should give yourself the credit of that. That doesn't mean calling everyone and just saying that you do X, Y, and Z right. I believe in sharing your goals, right? But I believe in keeping them quiet and just doing them rather than talking about them. Because the more you talk about it, your brain can't differentiate what's reality and what's not reality, and it thinks that you accomplish those things. That's why you get dopamine when you daydream, right? Because you haven't done the thing, you're just thinking about it, right? Now, of course, there takes a little bit of just action and thought, thinking about it in order to do it, but ultimately, if you don't take the action, right? Again, I spoke about this in the last video, action is just doing the thing, right? Sometimes we think that means jumping out of a plane. It can mean sometimes, but it's not ultimately that. Sometimes it's just getting out of bed. Sometimes that is the action. Sometimes it's just beeping the record button, right? So again, obviously this YouTube channel is going to be a hub for my personality, essentially, right? My interests. Just like every other platform that I exist on is all about that. I just document, right? And then I just share that. On other platforms, it's in the form of short form content. In this case, it could be long form content where you get a little bit more of my personality, a little bit deep dive of my interests, where I can actually explain it and talk about it, right, in long form without having to feel restricted by a 60-second timer. So we got past, I said I wanted to sit down here for 10 minutes and just go for it, and I did that. So thank you so much for being a part of this video. Please like, subscribe. I get to say that. Isn't that cool? I watch so many YouTubers, I'm sure everyone has, you know, you've heard it 1,000 times. Please like, share, subscribe, right? To actually say that is, I mean, it sounds like cliche, but it's also it feels really good to say that finally. Although I'm not a big believer in just asking people to do those things, although there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I never end my videos saying like, please follow me, because I'm of the belief that if you enjoyed, you're already going to do that. Some people believe you have to remind them because they might be feeling that way or not. But I don't know. I'm not here to pity you. Not that that's what saying that does necessarily, but I'm not here to pity you into following me. If you resonate, if hopefully you can find some value and some inspiration, maybe some entertainment through me being here, then I would really appreciate you follow along. But if that's not your cup of tea, no sweat. I will still be here doing this because it is fun. Anyway, God bless you guys. I love you. Thank you for being here with me, and I'll see you in the next one.